Keith Jones.
Rick Strong.
How are you, buddy?
I'm great, man.
Cool.
I'm just great.
Hey,
How are you?
I'm doing good, thanks. No injuries, no symptoms, everything's good. You know, 2 arms, 2 legs, sky's the limit. Right?
I love it. I know, put me down for that. I'm with that too.
Well, since we're putting you down for that, let's tell the viewers what we're doing for a show today.
Okay.
We're thinking about, so many times there's an opportunity for people to take the easy way out, and sometimes we all want to do that, and we want to give up. What does it take, I'm wondering, not to give up?
I like it.
Yeah.
I like the show topic.
Yeah, so let me give you some ideas. Let's suppose, not only in the area of fitness, but let's talk about some things that we really think are healthy for us that we want to do. Let's like stay off booze or stay off dope or make sure that we're always loving. All of those things require something in common that I think you're expert at, which is discipline. There's a definite science behind cause and effect, right?
Right.
When you're dealing with health, there's a cause and effect. And people think that maybe that they're not in control, but you know the reality is there's a principle, there's a scientific principle that's in control, which is if you put in less calories in your body and,
right.
and you burn more calories, that equation eventually will cause you to lose weight.
Right, and you know, yeah, with the quality of calories being healthy ones, absolutely.
Yeah. So tell us a little bit about what you think the hang-ups are for people when they give up. What do they do, and why do you think they do it? You're in this fitness business, you must see it every day.
I think, you know, there are, you know, a few exceptions to this rule, and I think as a rule, is the main thing is here. The lies that this up here tells you. I'm too old, I don't have the resources to do this, it's too early, it's too hard. Whatever this thing up here tells you, the mind, and you believe that, it's over for you.
And can you use the mind then in a way where you sort of, maybe not trick it, but you close off any possible option that would get in the way of your goal, for example, if you're dealing with fitness or nutrition, and make it so that you visualize yourself in a certain way and then act in conformity of your vision, even if it's not here yet.
Yeah, absolutely. I think one of the things you have to do is you have to find it compelling, your why. Being compelling is
leverage. Got to get leverage.
Get leverage about why this is important for me. And it's got to be a why that's so big that you won't let anything else get in the way of it. Like it's got to be a high standard for yourself. So I give an example before, a person who is really into family and their children, and they are the primary breadwinner for that household, and maybe they're with a significant other, maybe they're not, but let's say they're with a significant other and the significant other is not contributing financially as much as they could. This person's standard for raising their family is so high that they will not let that get in the way. They won't miss a day of work, whether they're sick or whether the car won't start and they have to, you know, catch the bus to work. They will not in that way let their family down because the standard is so high. They're not getting as much support from their significant other or the co-parent. That still won't stop them from raising the children in a way that is consistent with being a good person or their family values. Like, so the why for them is so strong. Yep. And if they can equate that, in the example you gave with losing weight, of having a why that's so strong nothing will get in the way, then they will do it. They won't use work as a reason, like it's too much work, I can't go. You know, they'll find a way with a big work schedule to do it. So they'll say, you know what, I'm going to have to go in early to the gym and work after that, or I'm going to go to the gym after the work, or I'm going to use my lunch break to work. I'm going to find a local gym, I'm going to walk, or I'm going to research a total body workout that I can do that requires no equipment, and I'm going to do a 30-minute workout or a 15-minute, like they're just unstoppable. You know, we've given Tim a lot of props for him being unstoppable. It's a single father who travels quite a bit of finding a way to work out no matter what, because that is non-negotiable for him. His why is really big. So I think that the person who can do that will do it. And for someone who, like, you know, in ToBeRe, we have people that are mature adults and they're in their 40s and 50s and 60s. And in that case, pretty soon, when something starts to act up, a hip or a knee or a groin injury, hamstring, tendency to be like, it's because I'm getting old. And if you believe that thing up here, that's the reason that you're not staying healthy, not staying active, then yeah, that's going to be your reality. But if your why is because I want to live every day to the fullest and operate in a way that I am totally engaged with life, I'm alive, I'm taking on all of life's adventures. If you want to live your life in that way, you don't accept this premise that you're getting old. Now, of course, you're aging, but you start taking responsibility for the things that you can do. Okay, I'm getting older right now, so what can I do differently? You know what? Sleep is paramount for me now. I gotta get 8 hours of sleep. So I'm putting a digital curfew, I'm going to bed earlier. Or you say, you know what, am I eating as healthy as I can so that my body can recover from a workout faster? Can I recover from an injury faster? Am I doing the physical therapy to heal this injury that was prescribed for me? Am I doing that in earnest every single day? So if you can change your why or define your why better, if you can define your why, then I think that's a big thing. And then the discipline steps come into play after that.
I think that's a great, great idea. The idea that you have leverage on you, that you can no longer stand where you are.
Right.
Whether it's being out of shape or not being able to do things with the guys.
Exactly.
You can no longer stand or tolerate that. That forces you to undertake whatever it takes to get where you want to go.
Absolutely.
I like the idea also, once you make that decision on leverage, how you actually go about it. Well, I think one of the things that you want to do is you want to pick out your highest and best self in terms of where you see yourself, where you want to be. Okay, so you want to ski with Keith and Tim? Great. Picture yourself on the slopes, leading Tim and leading Keith, and challenging each of them to a race down to the bottom,
right,
without stopping. Do it several times a day. Keep doing it. Keep focusing on that. Or look in the mirror. Think of how you want to look in the mirror. Or think of how it's going to look when you buy new clothes.
Right.
Or think of the person that you idolize the most in terms of their body style or the way that they behave and carry themselves. And visualize that with your head on their body.
Right.
I mean, the point is, whatever it takes, whatever creative thing you can do to start the visualization process so that your mind is thinking, I am no longer fill in the blank, a smoker, an alcohol, or taking alcoholic responsibilities. I'm not doing that any longer. I'm this person instead. And so the visualization of the person that you want to be has to become real for you. So you have two things going. You have the leverage, as Keith pointed out, the reason why you need to change, why it's important to you, and that's only to you. That's only your personal heart feeling.
Right.
And then secondly, what does it look like when I get there? And then pretend that you're there already and act in conformity with you're already achieving the goal.
I totally agree. I think for the people that have been successful too and haven't given up, on whatever it is, I think they've also created some steps to help them stay disciplined. So one of the things, like if you can do that, that's super helpful. Like, hey, listen, Tim and I have this thing that whenever we go out of town, we're gonna call each other. Well, first of all, within 24 hours of arriving wherever we are, we're working out. So if we're on a ski trip, we're going to work out before we actually go skiing. If he's on a work trip and the meeting starts early, within 24 hours of his first day there, he's gonna be at the gym. And the reason that we do that within 24 hours is because missing that first day of working out is so hard to do it the subsequent day. It's just really, really hard to do. So we've learned this from experience that if we get back into the routine as quickly as we can, even though we're in a different environment, it increases our chance to be successful and keep the commitment. And we close out the day with sending each other a text or a phone call or a picture that we actually kept the commitment. And so that there's a level of accountability there. So we set ourselves up for success by putting in some steps that keep us disciplined. So if you know that you are going out to dinner and you just have like the hardest time eating healthy when you're in a certain environment or you're on vacation, then set yourself up for that. I'm making a commitment that I'm going to work out while I'm there, and I'm asking this person, no matter what, to help me, to remind me of what my commitment is regarding healthy eating. So when I come back, I don't want to look at the scale and be disgusted, be mad, be all those things about not keeping that commitment. So those are some of the things that I do is set myself up for success by employing some discipline and having some steps in there to help me do it.
I think that's so important, discipline, and that to me implies habit, because it becomes
Totally
a habit to
habit.
you. It's not like something that you do once and then you forget about it. Obviously, you have to keep doing this. You have to keep working on,
Right.
you have to keep burning the calories, and you have to be watching what the intake of the calories are all the time. And that has to change permanently. It's one of the things I've noticed. It's difficult for people after they've had a little bit of success not to want to do some profit taking.
Right.
You know, they lose 10 pounds.
I never heard that. I love that, baby. But they do. They lose 10 pounds. Let me reward myself.
Chocolate cake.
Yeah.
So, you know,
Exactly.
free pizzas and a pitcher of
Oh,
beer.
totally.
And then you
I'm on
gain-
vacation. You know what? Let me just have one of these. And you just got to know that for me, that's a slippery slope. That's not how I got to do. That's how I do it. So go back to the profit taking. I like that.
Okay, well, here's the cool thing about it. It ties in with what I was saying about visualization. If you see yourself in a certain way, then the idea of taking profit or cheating or going back to your old way doesn't comply, because it's not who you are any longer.
Right.
Now, you're going to have setbacks. There are going to be days when you don't feel like working out and you do a poor workout. Totally cool. The main thing I think for me that was helpful was just the idea of showing up.
Right, exactly.
Show up.
Fail forward.
Fail forward. Just show up. Okay, if you can only do 80 pounds instead of 100, do 80 pounds. If you can only do 50, do 50.
That's right.
The point is, show up. Don't cheat. Don't.
Right.
If you feel like you can do it, do it. But if you can't do it, if there's something that prevents you from doing it,
Right.
injury or lack of sleep or whatever, just do it.
Show up anyway.
Do something.
You got a hamstring injury, so today you may not lunge. You may not do
Yeah,
lunges.
there you go.
You'll do a wall sit, or you will stretch while other people are doing legs. I mean, there's always something. You got a shoulder injury. You can't. You want to go to your commitment is to go to the pool and swim 5 days a week, but you can't do the overhead stroke. You're on your back. You flutter kicking, baby. You flutter kicking.
That's right.
You know, but the
That's
point
right.
is that you kept that commitment.
That's right. I want to talk about one other thing I think is important too when we're talking about discipline, because discipline and habit crowd out victimhood. Once you get on this habit routine, it's less likely that you're going to lapse back into victimhood. Okay, yeah, I got an injury and I'm old and it just hurts and geez, I wish I could do what I
I
did.
can't go because of work. And
Yeah, and I really want to go, but and I'm new to the job, and whatever the excuses are, everybody's got them, and we're great at making them, even if they don't exist.
And that's the victimhood.
And that's the victimhood of it. So you have to decide at the beginning. Okay,
I love that.
Is this a situation where I'm a new person, right? Well, then I'm not a victim either, and I'm not doing the old behavior that allowed me to get away with this kind of thing. So I'm not going to eat rice. I'm not going to eat potatoes. I'm not going to eat bread. Well, what do you do for lunch? And everyone has a sandwich. You take the bread off and you throw it away, and you eat the meat and the lettuce and the tomato.
That's
You're not
true.
going to die. You're going to get another meal in 5 hours. So
That's
relax.
right. And you'll be closer to your goal.
That's right. That's the whole point of it. If that's really what you want, there are ways of doing it. And it's, as Keith pointed out too, having a great support system is
It's
critical.
huge.
I think another thing along with the support system that's really helpful is the idea of having some kind of a spirit connection. Of people who are religious, I think, have this automatically, and they can work in their faith with trying to do the things that make them successful. I think those of us that don't have that kind of experience connect to the higher self. There's a higher self that wants the best for you and wants the best for all sentient beings, and that connection has to be explored. And you can do that through meditation, getting quiet, going inside, and remembering that source, the life force that's within you is within everyone, and the capability that you have to do this for yourself exists so long as you're true to yourself.
Oh man, that's so good.
Well, it
so
works.
good.
It's true. It works.
That's so good.
There is a spiritual component to
Absolutely.
getting in shape and being healthy.
I totally, I embrace it. I live by it. I try my best to connect with it on a daily basis, and I'm not giving up doesn't mean that you don't fail or stumble along the way. That's part of the process, but you're failing forward, and that's the key. And really give yourself no outs, no excuses. Show up anyway. You fall off the wagon with nutrition. Don't blame anybody for falling off the wagon or I was this way, I was weak. No, you made a choice, and just own that you made a choice, and then from that truth, you can find your footing again and get back on it.
That's
And,
perfect. That's perfect. Get right back on the horse.
Get on it immediately, because as days pass by, those old habits, they lock in again, and it's going to be hard to unlock them and shake them loose. You need to feed the new you as much as possible, as often as possible. And if you employ discipline. You can do it and never give up. And give yourself no outs. Show up no matter what.
The other thing I think that's really important that ToBeRe does a great job with is the idea of commitment. And you can commit to anything. If you want to commit to losing 1 pound, great. ToBeRe will support you. If you want to commit to 60 pounds, a little harder, but if you commit, you're going to get lots of support and lots of people who are going to help you along that road. But the trick is really commit to something that's realistic to you, for you. I mean, some people, 60 pounds is realistic, and that's something that you should and must do if you want to have a healthier and longer life.
Absolutely.
But on the other hand, you don't want to be making a commitment that's so wildly excessive that you're bound to fail. And some people do that. Some people say, well, I'm going to get ready for a triathlon in 3 months, and knowing that can't possibly happen, and giving themselves the out that maybe after a month or two, if it's not happening, well, we have to drop out because it just wasn't working. But dang, I sure gave it my try. That's not where it's at. That's not any help to you. It's not being an inspiration to other people, and it's a waste of your time and ours.
Absolutely. And so today's show is around giving up, and we really kind of focus on the physical, performance, how you look, how you feel, and those things, how all those things regarding physicality. We'll do a future show about giving up on yourself emotionally, spiritually, and giving up on others. But I think, this is a timely one to talk about because people have those goals about, feeling, performing, and looking their best. And I think this show is appropriate.
Well, here's the thing, too. This is very troubling for me because I didn't get the memo on the blazer, and so I definitely have failed on the looking good for this show part thing.
Right.
So I'm hoping there's something you can do to fix this in post. We're probably going to be in Rome, or the background will have us in Lake Tahoe. So I'm hoping you can dress me in something cool.
Well, the good news is you look fantastic, and you didn't give up, even though you didn't have a blazer. and storm out.
I still showed up.
Yeah, you still showed up.
It wasn't my best, but I showed up.
You still showed up.
All right,
So,
yeah.
Rick, I love you, man.
Take care.
And thanks for not giving up on me.
Never. You never did on me.
All right, thank you. I love you.